All right, Jeremy here, 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com. You can view this tub and others like it, or other models, makes, not really makes, Jeeps are mainly what we do. We do a couple diesel trucks and some of the half-ton stuff to get the 5.3s out of every once in a while. We're really known for our Jeeps, been doing that since 1984. I've owned the company for 18 years now, and I've been selling tubs and frames for 18 years. So if you look on our YouTube channel, you're gonna see a ton of videos. They're not the exciting ones you like to watch, binge watch, or I do anyway, but they are informational. And if you're buying a tub, specifically the tub on video, and I think they're invaluable. I really think big auto parts, specifically used parts in general, it should be something we all offer. I can't tell you how many times I buy something used and I'm greatly disappointed. I know little things aren't something that's probably feasible doing that on everything, although my goal is someday to do that on every part we have in the yard. Anyway, back to this guy. Now, some of you may know this right off just looking at it. And if you don't, it's an LJ. It's an unlimited, that's why it says unlimited on it. It's basically what a TJ is, except it's extended. And it's extended in the rear. Here. The front half of this Jeep, from your firewall all the way to about here, this roll bar, okay, is a TJ. And then the back half is a LJ. They only made these from 04 to 06. They're very hard to get. Well, they're hard to get full Jeeps that are unlimited. And then finding the tubs are next to impossible. When I brought these back, I can't tell you how many people pulled up next to me on the road. Hey, where'd you get that? So I hunt these down, and white is my absolute favorite one to get. They're the easiest ones to sell. It's the most desirable for whatever reason, maybe just the fact that if they paint them any other color, the insides are white. I don't know why. It just happens to be one of the ones that we don't get very many of, but when I can nab a white one. This is an A-. It has one thing on it. It has no rust whatsoever. This is going to be priced on our higher end of our LJ tubs. We have a few of them right now. We have one that's down at $3,000 right now, and that's about as cheap as you're going to find an LJ tub that's rust-free. It's a black one. It's in good shape, and it's on our website right now. So if you're looking for a budget tub and want an LJ tub, that would be a great one to grab. I'll have this one priced as soon as I get it all videoed. I like to do my pricing after I get my videos done, because if I miss anything, the video, the way I do these is I'm standing here, I'm showing you everything on it as if you were standing here in person, and sometimes I notice something I didn't notice before. So this is the only spot on it. It was a light hit in the front, but it did have a fender that was crunched on it, and the frame was perfect on it, but it did get it right here. It did crinkle this. So this is a fairly easy fix for a body shop, or if you, the way we've actually used to repair them. I don't have the time right now, but port power, bolt clamp here, a little bit of push there, and a little bit of tap here, and that comes out pretty easy. If you're going to be putting armor on it, flat fenders, anything like that, it's even better, because it's a lot of that stuff hides that anyway. And then you don't have to paint or do anything else. But a body shop, like I said, and I'm not sugarcoating that. I've had these where they're worse here, where they're caved in, and that takes it into this firewall area. This firewall is perfect. There's no damage here whatsoever. And that makes it a little bit more difficult. But this one is an ideal one, and they always have something little on them. I don't actually get very many LJs here because they're so expensive to buy it apart. So I usually look outside sources that I've used over the years, California, Arizona, Nevada areas that don't have rust, and specifically seek those out from those places. So they cost a little bit more than we like to spend on them, but the fact that we can sell them and have them on our website is invaluable for us. So I have one more. It's that green one over there that's going to go up, and similarly priced. I think actually that one doesn't have any, it might have a ding on the rear, but it's also in very good shape. So floors are excellent. There's not a spot of rust on this thing anywhere, let alone, I mean, there might be a couple specks of surface oxidation, but nothing scaling, nothing like that whatsoever. The shiny metal underneath that paint starting to show up from just rubbing the carpet or whatever it had on it. So I'll get it up in there and show you that side, okay? Other little things on it, there's a couple dings I've seen back here. That one's fine. That side's perfect. This side's pretty good. This has got a ding right there. It's fully accessible. You can reach your hand all the way up in here. I'll show you that when I lift it up. So pretty easy to tap that one out as well. But again, if you're going to be putting armor on it, which a lot of LJs see, I wouldn't worry about that one. Let me get it up in the air for you, give you the bird's eye view of it from underneath. And do note that this is January, around the 20th. I think it's 20th or 21st today, 2023. I've been moving and shaking with these trips. I've put 28,000 miles on my truck since December 10th. We've gone to Maine. We did that the week of Christmas, all the way down the eastern seaboard, back through the Midwest. I have a Midwest and a little bit of the East Coast coming up here February 15th. That's a little less than a month away, is around the time I'll be leaving. Take advantage of those trips, all right? A tub like this, and specifically an LJ tub, the crate is very expensive. It's about $480 to build the crate that these go into. That's just the crate cost. The freight cost on top of that on an LJ can run $800 to $1,500 real easily. And you don't want to take a chance and not crate these. So, you know, you got your tub cost plus that it makes them almost hard to buy, and we realize that. And so I invested in a brand new trailer. It's a 30-foot deck over with a deck on top. I can fit that East Coast run. I did 8 tubs on it, and then I did another 8 frames, and then a handful of axles, engines, and whatnot. So we split the costs on everything down the middle with how big that load is. That load was full, ended up being around $500 a customer. That's what we like to be on. And if you need a tub, a frame, fenders, windshield frames, tailgates, that $500 covers everything. So we don't nickel and dime it over that. It literally, we don't make money on that freight charge. It is strictly just to pay the overhead, the equipment costs, and fuel and hotels. So, and it was $6,200 is what it cost us in fuel and hotels on that last trip. So, and then like I said, we had kind of split that up amongst the customers we had on that load. So take advantage of those, because it's going to save you not only a lot of the freight, specifically on these LJ tubs, but it will save you the crate costs. I don't charge you the crate fees because I don't crate them. I since I do it myself and I protect them, you know, at all costs. You don't have to worry about that. So I'm showing you all the bolt holes. What we call these torque pockets. These are what holds this tub or any of these tubs down to the frames. They're absolutely crucial. There's a little bit of dirt packed in there. I want to show you this area here. Okay, TJs, YJs, LJs, CJs. Okay, they're all similar. That area goes bad. It's where the roll bar mounts, right? And if that's blown out, it's a harder area to replace. It's feasible, but it's not impossible. It's feasible, but it is costly. If this torque pocket, if you start seeing collapsed holes here, okay, got a couple of these guys, okay, and then these over here, same thing. You start seeing cracking. Cracking's okay. You obviously want to get in there before it gets worse. Collapse, full-blown collapse, broken bolts, or just absolutely holes in this area. This is very, very expensive to fix. There's now a company selling those. They're decent. They're not great. The factory ones, which we rarely cut, when we do have them, run you almost $1,000 on those things. And furthermore, the labor is very intensive. You can see they're pinch welds, spot welds in there. They're very hard to cut out, and they're very hard to replace. It's not impossible, again, but the fact that these ones are perfect, it goes a long way. So I always show you everything. So you look at this guy here, you can see this is pushed a little bit. It's a little high or a little low here, a little high here. Same with that one there. Same with that one there. Okay, and then obviously you have that up there. So this popped off real nice. I mean, sometimes when you get them and they're bound up, or you know, you pull your final two and you can feel the tension, they kind of spring out at you. This one didn't do that, but I do want you to see it, okay? And you're not, I mean, obviously if this was perfect, you'd be at the $4,000 price that we list our absolutely gorgeous LJ tubs at. There'll be a couple $100 knocked off. I would simply put bolts back in these longer ones, all thread, if you can find the pitch, and tweak them back. And that's what I would do on those and these. Otherwise, you can run the bolts back in them. You'll actually be surprised. They'll go right back in, and when you pull tight, everything will fit like you think it will. So, but just want you to see. So you're going to get pricing based on that there, and those 3 torque pockets being slightly upwards towards the rear there. And then that's it. Everything else is mint on this guy. So save the money while you can, because like I said, I don't discount LJ frame or tubs very often, or frames after that, hardly ever. So if you can save $1 and it doesn't, cost you in the long run, and clearly you'll have to be the judge of that ultimately, if this is something that's in your wheelhouse, or you'll have to figure out if somebody else will have to do it for you. Those costs obviously will come into it. If it isn't, just give me a call. There's always something out there that I can possibly do as far as tubs go, maybe another tub. Although LJ tubs, for like 5 years, I didn't have them. I finally got a few in 2022. We started getting a couple in, and I'm hoping that will continue on for at least a while. But ultimately, these are, there's only what they are out there. So that's it, guys. 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com. We're about 70% listed online, which means that if you are searching our website and don't come up with what you're looking for, one of 2 things. One, we haven't got to it yet. We have 7 acres, so it's unbelievably a daunting task to get every part listed, but that is ultimately our ultimate goal. And the second thing it could be is that you're inquiring about a part that is a hard to get part and is maybe listed on the site, although if it's out of stock, you won't see it. It could be sitting out here in a Jeep we haven't got dismantled yet. So always call if you don't see it, or if you do find it and it shows out of stock, still call, because that doesn't, again, we on this, my wife and I, and we have a couple guys that help us run it, but we're not as fast as we like to be. So it could be sitting out here. And if we're not sitting out here, I usually know what the part is, and I can put you on a wait list for them. Some of those require a deposit just because they're that hard to get. And, if we can't find it, we refund it. So, all right, again, the next trip is actually this week, Thursday. So about 4 days, I leave for the south. I'm going to go down to Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico. Okay. I got a fairly big load going down there, so I could add this one to that one, or one of the other ones I'm about to put up. Then after that's the Midwest, upper UP, Michigan, Minnesota, the Dakotas. We will be going to Pennsylvania on that trip, eastern Pennsylvania, possibly Maryland again, and then come back around. And then the trip after that is going to be down to Vegas, Phoenix, Southern California. And then that's probably going to do it for our spring season. And then we'll get back at it next fall for whatever we have. But just tubs and frames are getting extremely difficult to get. So I'd like to say, we'll have them. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time. I'll continue to do my best on getting what we can in, but they just are getting extremely hard to get, especially the older ones and these more rare types that they didn't build very many years on. So, okay, one more time, 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com. Thank you very much.